888-225-9940. Check them out.
Tell them we sent you.
Tell them you saw it in the current newspaper, COURANT online.com. And do, please, advertise in the current. It's important. Okay, so we're talking about Kavanaugh, and we're going to take a quick call from Joe in Wyandotte wants to talk about Brett Kavanaugh. Go ahead, Joe.
Hey, guys. How's it going? I think you guys are providing a good, different, somewhat unique and fresh look at this rather than repeating the same old stuff that seems to be parroted on every other show.
Oh, we've got a ton. We've got a ton, I think, of unique stuff. So we're going to get to it. What do you got, Joe?
As soon as you get off the line, Joe.
One unique thing was because you kind of the Democrat tactics. I mean, we see this stuff all the time. We know how they are, and whether people love Trump or hate Trump, if they're honest with themselves, one of the reasons Trump has the following he has is because he's willing to fight back or fight fire with fire, and Lindsey Graham seems to be the only one who has stepped up and willing to do that. And I don't know if you saw, but Alyssa Milano, one of the supposed faces of the Me Too movement, was Feinstein's guest in the gallery to send a message to try and lend the Me Too movement credibility to the completely non-credible garbage of Christine Ford. And we should fight back. And I've said on Facebook, we should have Robert Bork in the audience behind her to send a message. Now, somebody pointed out to me something that I obviously didn't remember. It'd be difficult since he died in 2012.
Prop him up. Weekend at Bork's.
Yeah.
Rest in peace, former Justice. We love you. What they did to you was horrible. But we have a big country and a lot of resources. Use some creativity and imagination. Find a doggone look-alike of Robert Bork and have him in the audience behind her to send a message. It would be unequivocal. People would get it.
Yeah, have lookalikes of Brett Kavanaugh and have Clarence Thomas sit in the audience.
Oh, there you go. All right. So what else, Joe? You got anything else?
No, that was mainly just we keep losing these battles because we're not really willing to fight. And
not aggressive.
God bless Lindsey Graham for stepping up.
Yeah. And you know what? I am one of Lindsey Graham's probably worst detractors, right? I despise him.
Normally.
And I was so proud of him, I actually had the little hairs on the back of my neck. I was proud. I was proud to see somebody stand up and talk like he talked during that session.
I wonder if he had a road to Damascus moment where he realized his friends across the aisle were not his friends.
Yeah, I would hope so.
Yeah.
I would hope so. All right, Joe. Well, I appreciate the call.
That's 2 weeks in a row.
Take care.
Yeah, that's 2 weeks in a row. Joe stayed on topic.
Yeah, and Joe's, here's the point. Let's get this out of the way real quick because this is what everyone else hits, right? Dianne Feinstein had this letter. She could have turned it in July or August, and this whole investigation, including an FBI investigation, could have happened in the investigatory hearings when it was supposed to happen. If Christine Ford really wanted to be anonymous and not have her family torn apart with this publicity, they could have done it.
She could have stayed home.
They could have investigated and done all this in closed hearings. Everybody would have had their chance to question the heck out of these two and do everything without destroying the two families, right? They didn't. They did this on purpose. And frankly, I think Christine Ford, whether she's being financially taken care of out of this, I don't know. Her fund me account is now like at $1 million.
That's going to the lawyers.
Right?
She's those two lawyers on either side of her, and whoever other lawyers, they're getting rich.
I don't know. The one lawyer got himself a nice fat envelope from Sheila Jackson Lee.
You heard about that, though,
I saw it.
Those were supposed to be letters. Even Tucker, I think, debunked that. And those were letters of support.
Allegedly.
Well, we don't know. Okay,
I don't know. But I can do the same thing as the Democrats, right? There was a payoff. But anyways, so why did she get an attorney? Why did she contact? If she didn't want publicity, why was she contacting all the different news media outlets, right? So I find it kind of hard to believe that she really wanted to stay anonymous. But nonetheless, the fault lies with the Democrats who leaked it, be that somebody in Feinstein's office or the congressional representative.
Wait until the last
that,
minute.
Right? Don't wait until the last minute. You did a disservice to Christine Ford. You did a disservice to Judge Kavanaugh by doing that. You know, there's a process in place. You, Miss Feinstein, should suffer the consequences for your actions of not bringing this forward when you were supposed to, per the process. right? And it's the same with these other two ladies that are now saying, oh, whatever. Total garbage. So I'm not buying any of that. But I want to go back to Christine being what I think not only phony, but kind of that elitist, using that information. I want you to listen when Senator Patrick Leahy asks her, what is the worst memory of this? Derek, you got that one? Play that.
I want to ask you one question about the attack itself. You are very clear about the attack. Being pushed into the room, you say you don't know quite.
I don't know if this is the right track.
Whom.
We want the other one. We want the one with Patrick Leahy asking her what sticks out in her mind. In the meantime, let's take a call from Gary on line 2. Gary, welcome to the show.
Hey, guys.
Hey,
look, it's my experience, and I have about 10 years of experience with psychiatrists and psychologists. These people are a racket. They don't know what they're talking about most of the time. I'm not saying every one of them is, but they did not do a damn thing for the people I was trying to help during my experience. And the reason I say that is because what they do is they get you in there, they fill you up with a bunch of psychobabble, they give you drugs, and they just perpetuate their own industry. So when couples are in couples therapy, they're under pressure to come up with answers to things that they don't know, just to validate the money they're spending to go there. So she could have very easily made up the Kavanaugh name just because it was somebody she heard about at that time, didn't know who it was when it happened, and just to propagate her lies to her husband or wherever they were in there having their problems. So this whole thing is nonsense because you cannot count on the psychiatrist to be professional anymore.
Yeah. You know what? I was kind of surprised that the prosecutor lady, Rachel, whatever her name was, that she didn't ask, what kind of therapy did you do? Was it memory regression therapy, hypnosis therapy? Was there anything went in there? Were you prescribed any drugs? Was there anything going on in the therapy sessions that may have somehow influenced these memories? And you got none of that, right? It just seems like that would have been a question I would ask.
Yeah, I know you would have. And I might have, but maybe that wasn't the wise thing to do either.
Maybe.
Because that would have been seen attacking the witness on intangibles. Oh, but you get what I'm saying? That's the fuzzy stuff.
Yeah.
And you can spend 10 minutes on that one.
Yeah.
As the whole thing about the fear of flying was a lot cleaner, a lot more.
Well, there you go. Another lie, right? Which we're going to get to.
Yes.
We might as well cover it right now. Here she says, I can't come because I'm afraid to fly. So that pushed it back another week. And yet she flies to Australia for scuba diving, surfing, wherever. She flies all over the world.
What claustrophobic person
gets into an airplane and flies around the world?
Or scuba dives. With sharks.
Yeah, I mean, come on. What else you got, Gary? Anything?
One of the things I heard that she was in New Hampshire the whole time anyway. She wasn't even in L.A.
Oh, like she couldn't have driven down for that short period?
Precisely.
Exactly.
So the whole thing is a big con job. Just like Benghazi, what they did after Benghazi, or even the global warming. That's a big con job. So if they got away with those, which they have, then as far as they're concerned, they can con us all day long.
It's evil.
Day
They're evil.
We just won't catch on.
Yeah.
But we are, and with shows like yours and more others, we'll continue to press forward and fight. I mean, that's all we can do, brother.
We will.
So carry on.
All right, thanks, Gary. Have a good one. Okay, so Derek, were you able to line this one up? This is Patrick Leahy asking her, what's her most memorable part of this thing? Go ahead.
I was able to get up and run out of the room. Directly across from the bedroom was a small bathroom. I ran inside the bathroom and locked the door. I waited until I heard Brett and Mark leave the bedroom, laughing, and loudly walk down the narrow stairway, pinballing off the walls on the way down.
Okay, stop. Right there. So you ran across the hallway after you disentangled yourself from these two would-be rapists. Lock yourself in the bathroom. Explain to me, if you're locked in the bathroom, how you can see them pinballing down the stairwell. Mm-hmm. Really? You can pinball. You know what? This whole thing is a fabrication. It's fiction. It's great writing. It's great descriptional writing, folks. But who uses that kind of terminology? They were pinballing down the stairwell. Really? Did you see that pinballing action? I don't think so.
Did it light up tilt?
Exactly. This thing is written by somebody. They crafted it too well because it strikes me as phony. Everything I listened to her, I was just like, there's just no way.
Let's clarify the mental image we're getting here of this situation, too. Nobody took their clothes off.
Yeah,
Nobody took their clothes off. If he was laying on her, they were both fully dressed. Nobody, I don't know how threatened she felt. Nonetheless, in Maryland, that was a misdemeanor whose statute of limitations ran out after a year.
I thought they said in Maryland.
Nope. I just read it.
You did? Okay.
Yes.
All right, let's take a quick call from Walter.
I'm sorry. The laws changed since then. At that time, it was 1 year.
So does it go retroactive?
No.
Okay. All right. Well, good to know.
Yeah.
So Rachel Maddow lied to me.
Mm-hmm. Imagine that.
Go figure. Fake news on MSNBC?
No, Rachel just remembered it wrong.
Right. All right. So let's take a call from Walter in Ypsilanti. Walter, welcome to the show.
Gary, my man, Gary and Ed. Gary, I love it when you sound between kind of like Michael Savage and Mark Levine when you get angry. I love it, man. I love that energy, man. I feed off that energy. Unfortunately, we don't have people like Jeff Quaker Flake Snake. That's right, I said it. Quaker Flake Snake. That backstabbing demon. We should have known he was going to do it anyway. This crap about some freaking FBI lie nonsense. Bunch of foolishness. That lady is a compulsive, serial, lying junkie. And I see right through her acting. By the way, if she was, this is what I give her for her actress acting. You know, wannabe actor, actress. First of all, she got her acting license from a Dollar Tree store dumpster. And she's a horrible actress. I saw right through it, especially sitting up there trying to sound like a teenager.
Wait a minute.
Exactly, Walter.
Did you call her a horrible actor?
Oh, yeah, she's an actor. She acted all through it. She's sitting up trying to change her voice, trying to soft sound.
Well, I'm glad
nice
you...
and polite.
Yeah, Walter, I'm glad you brought that up because I want you to listen to this part, right? So some of you may have noticed, and this is what the first thing that sent my hackles up. She was talking with what we call an uptalk, right? At the end of every sentence, she kind of lilts up a little bit on her sentence, much like young kids do, or your toddlers do, or your teenagers do, your Valley girls. You'll also notice, you can Wikipedia this up. It's called HRT. And HRT stands for, let me see, I've got it right here, high rising terminal. That's the scientific term for when you add that little thing at the end of your sentence. Mm-hmm. And the Valley girls do it. Young kids do it. You'll notice if you hear your own children, you know, if they're in their young teens, will talk this way. You'll also hear it sometimes from people in New Zealand and Australia. They kind of talk that way, right? Well, what kind of a professor talks that way? And I've been digging and digging and digging trying to find a lecture of her, audio or video. Cannot find it so far. Somebody told me that's all been scrubbed. You're not going to find any of that on it. Well, one of the actors, Hollywood, normally liberal, there's an actress by the name of Rachel Butera, who's in the last Star Wars, or one of the last Star Wars.
She was a short Oriental girl, wasn't she?
I'm not sure. I didn't see the last couple of them. So this went out. She did a little track of this, talking about that fry vocals, which is part of it, and the uptalk. You got that one ready, Derek? Listen to how Rachel imitates this. Go ahead.
I don't know if anybody is listening to the Dr. Blasey Ford testimony about Brett Kavanaugh, but this is how I sound. I know it's a surprise to even me that I talk this way, and I'm a doctor and a grown woman. I sound like I'm still back at that high school party. I can't help it. I just have this kind of a voice, like a baby, even though I'm a doctor, and I'm on this media circus, political stage, and I have kids myself that I don't know why I speak with vocal fry.
Vocal fry.
But you can listen to my testimony and hear that a grown woman sounds this way. Dr. Blasey Ford, thank you.
Here's the quote. You'll never work in this town again.
She probably won't.
She has been hit already.
She has been hit already.
Yes.
And so Walter, what do you think about that? Is that what struck you too when you heard her testimony right at the get-go?
First of all, she sounds like a throat cancer survivor. Sound like she got throat cancer, and she's flat out. Man, any fool could see through that lady. Unfortunately, the Republicans